Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Kapahan Davao Media Forum, hosted, of course, by the Philippine Information Agency and SM City Davao. Before we start, we'd like to thank SM City Davao for hosting today's Kapahan Davao Media Forum, and of course, the Crispy Camp for the coffee and donuts. So for today's media forum, we have two parts. We have guests from DSWD, DOH for the first part, and next for the part two, we have guests from PhilHealth and an MOU signing between PIA and PRO 11. So for the first part, we have topics will be DSWD pag-abot program updates, and we also have updates from our MRC or immunization program of DOH. So we have four guests for the first part. We have Ma'am Rovi Love Joy Bilaya, the Social Welfare Officer 3 of DSWD 11. We also have Dr. Grace Amistoso, the OIC Assistant Regional Director of Department of Health 11. And we also have Dr. Janice Olavides, the Medical Officer 4 of DOH 11. For us to officially start our today's forum, would like to ask for the opening statement of the guests. Maybe we could start with Ma'am Rovi Love Joy Belaya. Ma'am, for your opening statement.
Good morning to all. Thank you for inviting us once again here in Kapihan sa Davao. So, on behalf of our Regional Director, Director Roello P. Caradanas, PhD of the Department of Social Welfare, Health Office 11, we thank you for this opportunity that we can able to share and to provide updates and planned activities regarding the Pag-abot program under the Innovations Division. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone, to our media partners, our fellow guests, and the public joining us today. We are now entering the Again, I'm going to repeat. We are entering the final week of the Ligtas Ligtas Measles Rubella Supplemental Immunization Activity. And this is a crucial moment for every parent, every community leader, and every health worker. Over the past 3 weeks, 316,074 children across Davao region have already been vaccinated against measles and rubella. These are two highly contagious diseases that can cause hospitalization that can be prevented through safe and effective vaccines. This reflects the strong collaboration among the Department of Health, local government units, health workers, barangay officials, community volunteers, and other stakeholders. As we move into the last stretch, our focus is clear: to reach every remaining eligible child, especially those in hard-to-reach areas and those who may have missed earlier vaccination days. We have our human resources for health up to the farthest barangay to ensure that no child is left unprotected regardless of where they live. We would like to assure parents that the MR vaccine or the measles rubella vaccine have been used safely for many years, not only in the Philippines but worldwide. Protecting children through vaccination means protecting families, schools, and communities from outbreaks that can lead to hospitalization or worse. With your support, we can finish strong and ensure that every child gets the protection they deserve. With that, good morning.
Okay, maybe we could ask for the opening statement. We have additional guests from DSWD. We have Ma'am Nanjaya Muhammad, the Social Welfare Officer 2 of DSWD. Ma'am, for your opening statement po.
Good morning, everyone, especially to our viewers for today. We're very happy that giyatagan na pag-make another opportunity to discuss our program or to give updates. Thank you.
Alright, now to keep the ball rolling, I would like to ask the first question, maybe to DSWD. Anyone of you can answer Ma'am, kaniya itong pag-abot program, so far po, ilan na ka-beneficiaries ang atong na-achieve in 2025 or some updates po in 2026? Kung unsa pa nga itong pangusgan for this year po.
Once again, so the Pag-abot program, as we all know, it is a flagship program of the Department of Social Welfare and Development pursuant to the Executive Order number 52, series of 2024, institutionalizing this program, signed by our President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. So, the Pag-abot program, it has a guidelines also, the Memorandum Circular number 14, which strengthen the implementation of the Pag-abot through also establishing the Regional Interagency Committee. So with your question po, ma'am, regarding the update, so for the year 2025, we have a total serve of 189 individuals across all provinces in Davao Region, and it composed of indigenous people and other indigenous peoples outside our region. So total po is 189.
Opo. Compare sa 2024, mas mataas po ba yung datos natin na itala in 2025? And karamihan po, sabi niyo po, IP. Bakit po? Ano po main factor? Bakit po nasa street po sila?
So, compare last 2024, mas marami yung na-serve natin this last year, 2025. Kasi 2024 is nag-start lang siya mga October. So, and receiving region lang si Davao Region. So, for year 2025, mas marami tayong na-serve kasi tayo na mismo yung nag-reach out sa mga beneficiaries natin. And then, isa sa mga factor bakit dumarami yung mga beneficiaries natin is yung mga IPs, bumababa sila during, for example, Christmas season. So, kaya dumadami yung mga beneficiaries.
Opo, during this Christmas season of 2025, on December alone po, pila to ang beneficiaryo?
As reflected po, we have indigenous people from Davao del Norte, wherein we reintegrated 28 of them, and 56 is outside Davao region, particularly in Caraga region. 56 individuals.
Ma'am, ano po yung mga program, servisyo na ginahatag nato sa atong mga beneficiaryo po?
Okay po. Si Pag-abot program po is meron siyang mga comprehensive social protection packages na tinatawag nato. And ang ato ang mga beneficiaries, profile man or reach out, ina-assess na siya sa ato ang social workers kung unsa ang suitable or unsa ang fit sa ilahang skills or kakayanan or kanang ma-fit sa ilahang kondisyon, especially sa ilahang standard of living. So first, we have the transportation and relocation assistance. So we have beneficiaries na if they are not from Davao region, we facilitate their transportation and relocation. The second one is the financial assistance, wherein tayo po ina-assist din natin sila, especially upon reintegration, that they will be provided with the initial assistance. The third one is the transitory assistance. And the fourth one is we have also this psychosocial support and also the livelihood assistance. So, yan pong 5 na assistance na, and we have also community assistance if unemployment. And yan pong mga assistance na yan is kailangan po ma-assess ng ating mga social worker kung ano po talaga yung eligibility ng ating mga beneficiaries.
Thank you so much. Now we'll move on to DOH. Ma'am, any one of you po, Sir Doc, so far po, pila ka buok ato ang target for Davao Region for immunization activity, and so far, pila na ta ka percentage sa karon?
Hello. Our target for the MRC, for the test campaign natin is 513,009 children aged 6 to 59 months. we have already vaccinated around 61.6% already of these children. Now we are aiming for more children to be vaccinated because we are targeting 95% po talaga by the end of the campaign.
Dong, so far ba kani siya makaingon ba ta nga low turnout ang ato ang ang ato ang pag-vaccine o ginaunsa ba nato pag siyempre ang vaccine hesitancy is very common gihapon sa among parents or ginaunsa nato siya pag deal sa mga vaccine hesitancy po.
Now, if we compare to the previous SIA that we have, definitely, no, mas gamay tag nakuha karon nga coverage, no? But we're still on the 4th week pa naman, may 1 week pa to go. The reasons, we do have this gauge, no, kung ano na ay mga bata na hindi mabakunahan. We call it deferral or refusal, no, from our parents. So, sa mga deferral naman, mostly na to, around 9,000 individuals, ana, kay tungod nagkasakit karong kampanya ba, so di sa nato babakunahan karon maayo na. So that's one of the common reasons why we have this deferral. Although what's good with that is around 25% of this previously deferred nato na bakunahan nato during the campaign o na APAS, we call it the mop up. So kapadayon jud ang health workers to cover these children.
Ayan, thank you so much. And now we'll open questions for our media friends from Edge.
Hi, good morning. Just a follow-up, Doc. Meron bang difference in deferral at saka refusal?
Yes, yung deferral po, ito yung mga rason kung bakit hindi mo na bakunahan ngayon. So usually, yung mga common reasons natin is the child is sick or yung parents po wala sa bahay so they cannot give consent. Yun yung mga deferrals natin. So, ibig sabihin, pwedeng balikan, tapos pag well child na bakunahan. May refusals naman po, ito yung from the parents itself, parang wag muna ngayon. Yan yung mga refusal. So, common, no, top natin na reason is that there is fear of the vaccine. Pero po, ang ginawa ko natin is we explain, no, what the vaccines are, ano ito, para saan. Meron tayong percentage coverage ng nabakunahan after refusal.
Doctor, as a follow-up also, meron ba yung parang factor yung Genvac siya? For the parents na to get their children immunized.
That was pre-COVID natin, no? So, maugong talaga po yun. Pero po, during COVID kasi vaccination, madami po talaga tumaas yung confidence sa ating vaccine. So, ngayon po, hindi na po ganun kataas yun, yung mga refusals natin because of the series of vaccination campaigns that we have.
Thank you.
Ma'am, follow-up lang din po. Kasi, of course, we are doing the vaccination every year, no? And we can still see yung, marami pa rin yung refusal, at the same time, yung decline ng mga nag-undergo ng vaccine. What is the challenge of the DOH in doing so? Kasi parang, we are doing it yearly. The campaign is also doing it, we are doing it yearly, but then we still have this kind of refusal sa atong mga parents. So, where's the gap in this problem?
So, we do understand that meron po talaga hindi pa nagpapabakuna ngayon. So, when we do ask our parents, bakit po ba? It's because they already received the routine immunization, na kompleto na po yung bakuna nila. Ngayon, we have to explain naman why there's a need for supplemental immunization. Kailangan po kasi we have not reached our immunity or herd immunity na 95%. Kaya may chance pa rin, no, na magka-measles yung ating mga population, itong mga target eligibles natin. But yun nga, one of the reason din talaga is they've already completed their routine. So, ito kasi is additional. While we wanted them to receive more, but we also do respect these parents.
Yeah, so follow up with that. Kasi we have come up yung number ng 513,000 as the target. And if we have the complete vaccination requirements for our children, aside from these measles and rubella, bakit po hindi na lang siya i-incorporate doon sa set para mas madaling ma-explain sa parents?
These are two different concepts, yung routine at saka supplemental natin. We're doing supplemental because there's a projected increase in our measles cases. Now, we wanted to boost the immunity ng ating eligible population. Kaya po there's a need for more. Now, this campaign is also an opportunity para makita natin yung mga batang nagka-zero dose pa or has never received vaccination. So, since this is an opportune time talaga na mahanap natin yun. Kasi pwede yung maging gap. Kaya, magkamisas tayo sa isang.
So last na lang po. In Davao region din po, dun sa siguro mapping ninyo no ng mga children na target for the vaccination. Did you identify kung saang mga areas ito? Is it from the rural areas or in the urban areas na mataas yung refusal? And how do we reach out these parents? And how do we capacitate the local government unit to help you yung sa pag-run ng vaccination?
Actually, we do have the data. Hindi lang namin ma-disaggregate. But again, whether it's rural or urban, pare-pareho po ang ano natin, no? Yung percentage ng pagre-refuse. To how we do approach that one, we do have our champions to na i-convince sila. Ang ating pong mga local leaders are doing their best, and then they are also helping us with our campaigns. May mga nag-aano sa social media na nagpapalabas ng mga magagandang ano ang kagandahan ng pagbibigay ng booster sa ngayon. But again, not only our health workers are doing that, but also our volunteers who can help us convince that they need to be vaccinated and our vaccine is safe.
Kay Ma'am Rosie, Ma'am, balikan ako po. I just wanted to clarify. Kanin sa ato ang 189 individuals, ma'am, is sila gani din ang, ma'am, from the indigenous community. This is Kapag 28 in Davao del Norte po ba?
Okay, ma'am. Sa 189 po na total served ni Pag-abot program in the year 2025, we have 142 indigenous people na po. Total na po yan, regardless of what provinces po. Sinali na po namin yung outside region po na naibalik sa kanilang communities.
Ma'am, can you give us at least siguro, ma'am, or like, asa ni sila dito ng mga region, and then what are some of their reasons na I'm assuming na they are going here to Davao po ba?
Okay, so talking about outside region ng mga indigenous people, they're from Caraga region or the region 13. Hindi ko na lang din po sabi kung anong tribe nila, but usually po yung mga purpose naman po nila coming here, especially month of October to December, is to really pamamasko. And what we consider is also the referral and the concern of our districts here in Davao City, particularly our CSWDO as our partner, because tinitingnan talaga natin yung vulnerability nila or at risk sila dito sa city, given na they are not familiar. So, meron tayong mga law enforcement also, no, or mga law enforcers na nag-remind sa kanila, but once again, no, meron talaga pa rin hindi uuwi despite of the reminders because of their intent. Kasi usually po, during our reach out operation, yung mga reason po talaga nila is, bakit dati pwede, bakit ngayon hindi? So part of the intervention ng ng Pag-abot program is to educate them na ngayon, sa panahon ngayon, we have policies, we have laws, we have ordinances, especially here in Davao City, kung ano talaga yung para naman to sa kanilang best interest and welfare. So yun po, una talaga na ginagawa namin, especially when they resist to be reached out, is educate them para ma-aware din sila kung ano yung para sa kanila, kung sa ano yung essence ng home, kung saan talaga yung totoong home natin and safety and security for them.
Ma'am, kaning 189, this is from January to December 2025. Do
Yes,
you have
ma'am.
the same data for 2024 po for comparison?
So for 2024, ma'am, since the Pag-abot program started October 2024, we have limited pa na indigenous people na na-serve in compared to 2025. Because same sa sinabi po ni Ms. Nerjaya po, Pag-abot program was just a receiving region way back 2024. Pag sinabi natin receiving region, hindi kami nagre-reach out. Kung may i-refer yung other region na i-validate na taga Davao region siya, yun lang yung function ni pag-abot. Unlike 2025 na we are sending and receiving region na po.
Ma'am, last na lang po. Ma'am, ang breakdown nato, ma'am, pila kabuok ay pila ba diri ang male or female sa 189? And then ang age bracket po, unsa ni sila kadalasan nila taga-adult?
Okay. So we have we categorize them children, adult, and senior citizen. So out of that, we have 71 children reach out na yan. Hindi lang po yan reintegrated. We have 102 adults and 14 senior citizen po. Yung IPs po kasali na po doon sa mga disaggregate namin.
Thank you, ma'am. To DOH po, either sa itong mga doctors. Doc, considering na 1 week na lang as atong goal, yan na po tayo 40% ni Apasod, are we confident that we could reach the 95%? And then, sa ato ang measures in place na para maabot natin yung ato ang goal na 95%?
We remain hopeful that we will reach these children through collaboration. So, but again, currently our local leaders or our partners are working together to really reach these children because we really wanted our children protected, whether we are coming from the rural or the urban places. So we will reach every child. We will still remain hopeful until February 13 that we can still reach these children.
Doc, I'm just curious po, since this is yearly ko to, pag ang parent po ba, during that time period, hindi niya maabot ang February 13, can the parents still avail of the vaccination, and how will they avail despite outside sa bracket nato?
Okay, right after February 13, we will be stopping the campaign. So we will be going back to our routine immunization. Only those children who are eligible for that routine immunization will still be given their immunization. These will be children 9 months old and those who are, for the second dose, yung 12 months po. So again, hindi naman itong ating MRC campaign is yearly. Usually it is happening 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, depending on our coverage, depending also if there are outbreaks. So again, our routine immunization continues and it is actually happening weekly or daily because we need to make sure that vaccines are available when our parents are available and when it is time for them to be vaccinated. One aim that we have to gain from this actually is to promote that routine immunization is very important because we will not be having this frequency if our routine immunization is good. So part of this is really campaigning that our parents should be getting their children vaccinated at the time that they need to be vaccinated.
Doc, I just wanted to know po, when was the last time po ba nga nag-campaign ta for this one po? Nga same siguro for you.
Yeah, we did 2023.
Sa 2023 po ba, Doc, mas dako ta o na-apas na numbers compared to 2025?
Yes, 2026 campaign, yes. It's we had more than 80% coverage during the 2023 more than 80%. 86.
After 3 years, Doc, are we hoping na, of course, malapasan na to?
Well, we are praying that there will be no more campaigns because we usually do this if there's an impending outbreak. Kaya unahan natin, no? Kesa dadami yung kaso. So hopefully, hindi masyado dadami yung kaso natin, be it not for the region but nationwide, para hindi masyado madaming campaign na gagawin. That's why we are strengthening really the routine immunization.
Doc, what if kung hindi nag-avail ang parent for immunization, how can they paano nila ma-avail yung immunization kung hindi from DOH? For example, na-realize nila by Feb 14.
Sayang. Pero, we are providing the measles rubella and the measles mumps rubella vaccine. Yan yung routine natin, no? 9 to 12 months, available po yan. Pero if they want, if they're beyond that age group, sa private po, meron. we are providing for the 9 months and the 12 months. Pag beyond, let's say hindi pa siya umabot ng 2 years old, meron tayong tinatawag na CIC or child na dapat kompleto niya, yung routine niya, pwede namang bigyan.
Last na lang, Doc. Ano ba yung parang effect kung hindi just for the information na lang for it, ano yung effect kung hindi nagpapa-vaccine, hindi nabakunahan ng MR?
In a public setting, we're really aiming for prevention, no? It will be efficient for the government, less expense, pati po yung trabaho ng nanay, hindi may impact pa na addict yung bata. So we wanted to prevent the measles and rubella cases natin. So napaka-importante po talaga yung bakuna, bibigyan natin ng lakas yung bata to develop the immunity against these diseases. So, mostly naman, as per data, the reason why children with measles would succumb to death, it's because they will develop secondary symptoms of pneumonia, no? So, yan yung sana, we will prevent it from happening. So, that's why we wanted all of our mothers to really understand the importance of our vaccines.
Follow up lang po, Doc, regarding sa number po. This is as of yung 3,360 as of anong date?
This is as of February 8, 10 p.m. February 8, last night, as of 10 p.m. So we will be having our new set of after 2 o'clock in the afternoon because the vaccination team, if they're done, they can report again.
Kailan po nag-start yung counting ng
It started from January 19 until February 8 and as of 10 p.m. So every day we are having new data. So we expect to have another increase and then final report would be for 10 p.m.
Sa breakdown po, ma'am, do we have, yung latest kasi na posted in your Facebook, ang mga ibang provinces, hindi pa naka-reach ng at least 70%. So, do you have a breakdown po?
We do have the breakdown if you want to, because as earlier mentioned by Dr. Janice, the total of the region is 61.61%. For Davao City, we have 54.95%. For Davao de Oro, 67.28%. Davao del Norte, 63.21%. Davao del Sur, 59.75%. And Davao Occidental is at 55.28%, and Davao Oriental is at 76 to 83%.
Thank you po. To Ma'am Roby po, ma'am. You mentioned yung 189, ma'am, na reintegrate na ito back to the community po. And may mga nagbalik lang dihapon sa streets. Paano bang monitoring po, ani ma'am? And also, yung mga gina-provide ninyo na services, how is it being monitored?
Okay po. So, out of 189, so, ang ginagawa po ng Pag-abot program is, good question po ma'am, no, na after we reintegrated the beneficiaries, hindi lang po yun sila babay na, or kumbaga, kayo na bahala. So, that is why we strengthen the stakeholders partnership, specifically through their LGUs and MSWDOs or CSWDOs, because since part constituent yun nila, no, upon reintegration, we make sure that these offices, no, are present during the reintegration kasi doon po mangyayari yung mga agreements and commitments kung sino nga ba yung responsible on the aftercare, monitoring, and for sustainability. So with regarding sa question mo na pangalawa po, paano yung assistance nila, that is the role of our project development officers, no, under the Pag-abot program, that we have regular monitoring. We conducted mostly monthly monitoring para po ma-check yung kanilang livelihood if ever yung na-avail sa kanila or na-qualified is a livelihood assistance. So that is why our social welfare officers and project development officers conducted monitoring in their locality. Aside from that, we also ensure that they are monitored by their local government unit or even the barangay officials.
Ma'am, upon monitoring po, ma'am, nabay napansin nga kani silang mga nasa streets previously a beneficiary of a DSWD project as well?
So far po sa pag-abot program, wala pa pong nangyari. Pero, when we identified, especially dito sa Davao City, kung meron kaming makitang mga profiled or na-reach out namin na mga clients, gina-validate po namin through the CSWDO and our partner, the Paginhawaan Drop-in Center here in Davao City, if they already catered that individual. Kasi minsan po, yung makita namin is na-reach out na din pala nila. That is why it is very important to always tap our local government unit para po ma-verify if matagal na pala yan siya, ayaw niya talagang umuwi. Merong mga instances talaga na ganyan, ma'am. Hindi natin ma-force po kasi of course we always advocate the right space and human rights. So that is why ang una talagang gagawin is yan, mga matagal na tapos naging tahanan na talaga nila ang Davao although nasa street sila, is to really balik-balikan sila and encourage sila.
Thank you po. Balik lang po sa DH, one question lang. Ma'am, there was an incident po, ma'am, of a death of pilay edad akong bata. 2-year-old? Yes. Nabay same case po diri ma'am na gina-blame sa parent ang vaccination tungod atong death atong 2-year-old girl ba to?
What happened is last Saturdays, we give our deepest condolence to the family, no? But again, good thing in Davao because we have what we call adverse event following immunization. So marami tayong cases na because our surveillance unit is very good in facing this. This adverse event following immunization, meron tayo, but again, parents are not blaming us. Wala po tayong cases na kasi naintindihan nila na normal na minsan lalagnatin, minsan may pain ang immunization site. But again, these things are being investigated at saka inaano natin. At so far, wala pong sa Davao nangyari na sinisi nila na ang pagkakasakit ng kanilang bata ay dahil sa bakuna. They understand that it is safe.
Last na lang din. Thank you, ma'am. To Ma'am Janice po, you mentioned katong impending outbreak. Unsa may considerations or factors ma'am na we are seeing it?
One measles case, no? Pwede na magud na makaingat ng 12 to 18 people. So, paspas kayo mudagan ang measles. Maong, we are protecting our population against that dreadful disease. No? And over time, kalat jud ang measles. No? We're still endemic to measles. Munang kapaningkamo taan itong kampanya, strengthening routine, para, once and for all, dili naman ang hanap ang mga kaso and really preventing the insurgence of measles.
Do you entertain 2 questions for our friends?
Doc, regarding defaulters lang, Doc, na ba yung mga interventions na ginabuhat with the defaulters or diba mga traversing sila, Doc, nagabalin-balin sila og mga lugar. Gina-implement ba na to ang no wrong door policy sa DOH? No wrong door policy po sa regarding with that one po.
Yes, no, in terms of our services, be it immunization and other nato na health services, dili ka matter kung taga-asa ang ang tao. No, we offer, yes, basta na lang sa eligible population. Another thing is ginabalikan dyan sa itong mga health workers, no? So nalista nila nga, nagsakit pa ka doon, balikan na ako after 3 or 5 days. Mo nang isa po no, na magpasalamat sa itong mga health workers because naningkamot sila ug tapot sa ato ang mga target eligible population.
Regarding health workers naman po, Doc. Doc, kamusta to ang health workers na nga nag-appear dyan siya everyday with the duration sa MRCA?
Yes, no, kada adlaw bisag weekends and Sundays, no. If you visited churches, malls, na-adjud atong team, no, providing the vaccination. So, allow me to thank our local government units as well as our partner organizations, no, for really being one with the department in protecting our children.
Okay, no more questions? Okay, thank you so much. We still have our part 2 at this juncture. Would like to ask the parting statement coming from our friends. I'd like to ask for the parting statement coming from our TSWP, Ma'am Narjaya Muhammad. Ma'am, for your parting statement po.
once again, good morning. So I would like to thank everyone for having us today. And we're proud to say that the SWD employees serve our beneficiaries with integrity and passion. So again, we'll continue to serve them with integrity and passion.
So once again, so in behalf of the Department of Social Welfare and Developmental Office 11, our Regional Director, Director Roelo D. Aradana, so the Pag-abot program aims to reduce the vulnerable exposure of our individual families in street situation. That is why hindi po namin to kakayanin without the support also of our local government units and other partners. That is why we strengthen the partnership with between national government agencies also. And we are calling to the general public na hindi po magagawa yung mga goal or yung pag-reduce ng mga homeless na mga individuals without you. So kahit sa konting pag-remind lang with our anti-mendicancy law, that's a big help na po to reduce the exposure of these individuals. Thank you.
In behalf of the Department of Health, we would really like to thank you for this opportunity again. Thank you, Director, for giving us this opportunity because you know that we really need to reach out to everyone. So, again, in behalf of the Department of Health, we would like to reiterate that the health and safety of every child remain our highest priority. As the measles rubella supplemental immunization activity enters its final week, we only have 5 days actually. We call on our parents, our caregivers who have not yet done their part in bringing their children to our vaccination posts. Bring your children to the nearest vaccination site. We even have one here in SM, and please know the vaccination site. Vaccination remains the most effective way of protecting our children from measles and rubella, diseases that can cause serious complications but are fully preventable if we only give them the chance. We have them vaccinated, and may I enjoin everyone, let us be champion in making this campaign a success. If you've known someone who haven't received the vaccination yet, please help us. Reach them. With that again, mabuhay po tayong lahat. Magandang umaga po.
Okay, thank you so much, our media friends. We still have our part 2 coming from our guest from PhilHealth. Thank you.
So, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat and welcome to part 2. We are joined by our friends of PhilHealth and by Regional Vice President, Attorney Harvey Carcedo, Dr. Marie Alexis Campaner, the Chief Healthcare Delivery and Management Division. We have also Dr. Janelle Cristina Mocaldo, Accreditation and Quality Assurance Section, the Medical Specialist. Ma'am Jermaine M. Tan, the OIC Field Operations Division. And we have Clea Guevara, the PR Officer, Public Affairs Unit, PLED 11. To start our press con, we'd like to get the opening statement. We start with, of course, Attorney Harvey Carcedo, the Regional Vice President of PLED 11.
Hello, mayang buntag sa dayan ng Matayaw. Again, thank you so much for this opportunity to present again the programs of PhilHealth as well as the updates po ng PhilHealth benefits and programs that we are implementing right now. First of all, I would like to thank the PIA, our partners from PIA, for this opportunity to give you an updates and as well as the new programs and benefits of PhilHealth. Marami po tayo pag-uusapan ngayon kasi yung PhilHealth po, at least every year, may bago pong programs and we are trying to disseminate all this information through the access of our media partners and also those other partners, social media partners, para mabilis po ang ating mga pag-disseminate ng mga information. Because what is program without the information being disseminated to or the knowledge being accepted by the stakeholders? Sayang po kasi itong programs ni PhilHealth na hindi magagamit natin mga stakeholders just because the information that it can be availed na as of this moment to mga programs ni PhilHealth. But again, I hope we will have a substantial discussion, especially in the YAKAP updates. Yaman ang Kalusugan Program of PhilHealth. And should there be any questions, clarification from our media partners, we welcome any question as well as the clarification that you require from us. Again, daghang kayo salamat, Madayo. Thank you so much.
Okay, then we have President Dr. Janelle Macaldo.
Good morning, everyone. So, once again, we thank you for this opportunity to share our updates, especially on our flagship program, the Yaman ang Kalusugan program, wherein we endeavor to strengthen our benefit package for primary care, focusing now on preventive medicine. Thank you.
Dr. Kapayan.
Hello, good morning, everyone. From the Healthcare Delivery Management Division, we know that the core processes of our division involves claims processing, accreditation, and stakeholder empowerment. Today, the data that we have with us are actually in claims payment, and they are very much aligned to the directives of our regional vice president in expediting our turnaround time. The claims turnaround time last year is at the average in the whole year 2025, 23 days. In December 2025, our monthly turnaround time went down to 13 days. And in early January 2026, our turnaround time is at 16 days. Last year, PhilHealth 11 has paid a total of 16 billion in claims. For our YAKAP claims, we have paid 447 million. That's to support the first patient encounters all around the region, which is at 661,000.
Okay, Ma'am Germaine.
Yes, good morning, everyone. And firstly, I would like to thank PIA for this endeavor, and of course, our partners from the media. And since this is the first media forum for this year, I'd like to thank the efforts of all our partners, especially sa media. You have a big contribution in ensuring that we are one in this goal natin, no, in achieving the UHC, especially on achieving 100% coverage of all Filipinos na may access po sa ating program, especially on the private care. For last year, 2025 po, we have achieved 95% of our coverage. So in Davao City, 5.2 million po ang naging registered na sa NHIP out of the total 5.475 na population. And as mentioned po ni Doc Jen and the rest of the team ng PhilHealth 11, our priority program is our primary care program, which is our YAKAP. So ito din po ang ating appeal, no? And call namin sa lahat ng ating mga media partners and to all our members and stakeholders that we have to work together, especially that as of now, 35% pa lang po ng population ng Davao City are registered sa ating YAKAP program. So this is a good program for promotive and preventive care. So we would like to emphasize that hindi lang po dapat na magkasakit to avail of our programs and benefits ng PhilHealth, but as well as yung tayong healthy. We have to shift our health-seeking behavior, no? Na hindi na during magkasakit, no, para maka-avail ng PhilHealth or pumunta sa ating mga primary care providers. But most especially, dapat maging habit na natin na every year to visit our YAKAP clinics for promotive and preventive care. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, good morning, everyone. So together with my fellow Pro 11 officers, headed by our RVP, Attorney Harvey Carcedo, we are here to bring you updates. Nabanggit na po kanina ng aking mga kasamahan. We are here to update you on the latest policies, including the one-time waiver on interest for our missed contributions for employers, and of course, yung ating YAKAP, the PhilHealth YAKAP. This is in line with our 31st anniversary, which we are coincidentally celebrating on Valentine's Day, no? February 14, 31 years na po ang PhilHealth. And our theme is very relevant, kay yakap ang Pilipino para sa kalusugang sigurado. So, hopefully, daghan mig mahatod sa inyong updates, may labot aning yakap. And later on, we ask our friends also from the media, we'll be having our MOU signing with the PIA 11. This is also a milestone activity for both agencies. So we ask for your support. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. We are streamed live over the Facebook page of Philippine Information Agency Davao Region and also Kadangpan. Oo. And also PhilHealth. Thank you so much for streaming live. We are reaching a wider audience, no? So, matanong ko yung, kaya you mentioned about yung one-time, before we go to Yakap, what's this one-time waiver of interest for employers and paano ma-avail to ng mga ating mga employers?
Thank you for that question, sir. No? So this year, magandang balita po sa lahat ng ating mga employers, especially those with unsettled premium contributions or those na merong mga delinquencies. So this program, ni PhilHealth, for this year lang po siya. We will offer a one-time waiver of interest. Those na may miss na contribution from July 2013 up to December 2024, pwede po sila mag-avail ng one-time waiver of interest. So bayaran na po nila yung premium and we will waive the interest. No? So bakit nagkaroon ng program si PhilHealth dito? So in 2013, meron pong programa si PhilHealth that the employers can request for waiver of interest, which is meron tayong committee to approve of this request. However, based on assessment ni PhilHealth, most of the reasons for requesting for waiver is due to financial reasons, especially as effect ng pandemic, no? And alam natin na matagal yung recovery ng ating economy, especially mas may effect sa employers. So that's why PhilHealth, our board approved our program that we will provide a one-time waiver of interest. So to those na mga employers na may delinquency in the covered years, at July 2013 hanggang December 2024, pwede po sila mag-request sa PhilHealth and they will submit a proposal. So, yung proposal naman nila for payment, of course, the payment is for 1 year. If they will pay the delinquent account for within one month, wala pong premium, walang penalty po, or walang interest. But it will pay for the staggered months ng 2 to 6 months, an interest of 1%, and 2% if they will opt for a payment term nila ng 7 months to 12 months.
Okay, then we go to Yakap, no? Ating mga marami ka programa sa Yakap, and Ma'am said no, 35% pa lang ang out of the members, no? PhilHealth members ang sa region or city lang. Region are registered sa or not sa Yakap. Ano po yung mga updates natin na bagong mga programa under sa Yakap na PhilHealth?
Thank you, sir. No? So, not only did we strengthen ang Yakap program, formerly known as Consulta Package, sir, no? By making sure that our partners, our stakeholders are ready, they are Yakap ready. Meaning, when you go to a Yakap facility, you can get the full array of benefits because our accredited facilities are Yakap ready. Now, we also added 2 additional benefit packages hinged on the Yakap program, which are your free cancer screening tests offered in accredited level facilities, screening for the top 4 cancers in the Philippines, that's your breast, colorectal cancer, lung cancer, and liver cancer. On top of that, we also launched our Gamot package or our benefit package for outpatient drugs, which now which gives our beneficiaries, our members, registered members, 20,000 pesos annual benefit limit for outpatient drugs. So all of these benefits you can get if you register and magpa-FPE and go to a Yakap facility.
Okay, kasi nag-register ako dati sa isang event, no, with the media. I think nagpa-check up and also we receive medicine. Magpa-register ba kami ulit or yun na yun? I-present lang namin parang meron kasi sa yung ginawang card.
There's no need na magpa-register po ulit, sir. So you just go back to your Yakap facility, kung at that time Consulta pa ang tawag sa iyaha. Now we just change it to Yakap facility, but you're still registered and empaneled to the same facility.
Sa region, ilan na pong Yakap facilities?
In the
Kasi
region,
is increasing.
in the region, we have a total of 173 Yakap facilities.
siguro Attorney Harvey, because 35%, ano po yung challenges na bakit ganito lang ang maliit lang, and what are we doing na ma-accelerate, because YAKAP is parang founded siya sa universal healthcare law, no? So kailangan yung mga Pilipino. So how are we trying to hasten lahat ng members maging usali sa YAKAP?
Thank you so much, sir. Actually, no, for the question, as I mentioned earlier, we really need help from our media partners and our social media partners, especially the dissemination of information. Because formerly, before it became YAKAP, it is konsulta. And the mindset of people kasi, when we say konsulta, is that nakasakit before ka magpakonsulta. That's why it was changed to YAKAP, because we have to embrace all our stakeholders na magpa-check kahit walang sakit. That's why it was changed to YAKAP, no? So ngayon po, that's the main direction of PhilHealth Regional Office 11 is the dissemination of information. So although during the previous year we conducted caravans, no, but again due to the human resource of PhilHealth, nahirapan talaga kami to capture all those members in the entire region. That's why we are resorting into this social media platforms, the news platforms, and other platforms para lang ma-disseminate yung information, because when we try to talk to our stakeholders, they have the basic question of what is the konsulta program, dati pa. And right now, still may ganun pa rin mga question, no? So that's why we really need to educate our mga kababayan dito sa Davao Region na may konsulta program na po tayo, may YAKAP program na po tayo na pwede tayong pumunta sa YAKAP provider for a check-up regardless if you have kahit wala ka pang sakit, di ba? Gamit mo na yung PhilHealth mo under the YAKAP program.
Yung konsulta manggod, pag may pera, kasi usually kung magpakonsulta ka, 500 pesos manggod yung mga konsulta na.
Yes, sir. That's true, no? That's the mindset of our stakeholders dati pa. And when it comes to pagpakonsulta, you have to pay for the consultation fee. So that's what we are trying to change here. The seeking behavior of our stakeholders na itong YAKAP program, formerly konsulta, wala po itong bayad sa mga facilities. You just have to go there, you just have to register. Then the YAKAP provider and the YAKAP professional or the physician would immediately conduct for patient encounter.
Itong YAKAP, how much kung i-monetize mo yung ma-receive or makakuha ng isang member kung mag-kuha siya sa YAKAP?
So unlike our inpatient na benefit package, sir, where we assign a certain amount for every diagnosis, sa YAKAP po, sir, there is no limit or walang maximum in monetary value sa makuha mo. So at need siya, sir. For example, you need consultation once a month, then you can go back to your YAKAP provider once a month. So as the beneficiary needs it po. So ang laboratories and diagnostics, as long as it's within the 13 laboratories and diagnostics covered by the YAKAP program, pwede mo siyang makuha for free as needed, as long as it is recommended by your YAKAP physician that you need those laboratories and diagnostics.
Yung isang component is yung gamot, no? Parang ilan ba yung gamot na libre na pwedeng ma-avail ng, kasi more on preventive tayo, di ba, sabi nung mga maintenance siguro to na mga rosuvastatin, mga androdopin. Ano yung mga gamot na pwedeng makuha na as a YAKAP member?
Yes. So, katong 21 medicines na previously makuha natin sa konsulta, we can still continue to get them from our YAKAP clinics. No? Our YAKAP clinics continue to dispense them for free. Apil dito ang mga common antibiotics and maintenance medications para sa high blood, diabetes, pagtaas ang cholesterol. Nag-add ta og additional 54 dito sa 21 medicines. Kato siya makuha nimo sa gamot pharmacies nato. Sir, no, once fully rolled out in the region, makuha to siyang 54 medicines. Ang nag-add ta og more antibiotics and more maintenance medications.
54, 75 na. 21
Yes,
plus 54.
75
This includes antibiotics. Kasi
Yes.
mahal yung mga
Yes po, sir.
antibiotics.
Very common. I'm sure
Amoxicillin.
Yung madungog amoxicillin, azithromycin, karon na daghan nagaubo, daghan nagasipon, azithromycin is very common, covered na po siya ng gamot.
Okay. Question, Kat, and then Mali.
So, kay Ma'am Tan, ang balik po atin sa kating sa one-time interest waiver. May I ask if naala ba din sa Davao Region ng mga companies, how many companies or private establishments ang nag-ask for this one-time interest waiver po?
Sige po, our one-time waiver for interest na policy po, bago lang talaga siya na published na circular. So we are on the stage of informing our employers. And from our central office, nagbaba din po sila ng list of all our delinquent employers kasi gusto namin na lahat na may delinquencies will avail of this one-time waiver of interest. Kasi for this year lang ito siya. So we are in the process of sending out notifications para sa ating mga employers to avail of this program po natin. We are sending pa po our letters kasi bago na namin na-receive yung list from central office.
For yakap po, pwede po ba siya i-avail, for example, ng one company for their employees or for individual?
Yes, absolutely. Pwede po siyang, the companies can endeavor not to promote yakap and promote it sa kanilang employees. However, we cannot remove yung patient's choice kung asan niya gusto mo pili o yakap clinic. Because once you choose and register to a yakap clinic, empaneled ka na sa same yakap clinic for the entire year. So, choice pa rin siya ng beneficiary.
And also for yung sa 21 essential medicines, ano po ba, under din po ba dito? Kasi a lot of employees nowadays tend to parang have mental health issues, and a lot of these patients also says na pinakamahal talaga yung mental health medicine. So, under yakap po ba, this is also available or it's in another package of PhilHealth?
That's a very good question. Under the total of 75 medicines under yakap and gamot, our medicines gearing towards mental health is not included pa po sa list. However, we have a separate benefit package, still part of our primary care benefit packages, our outpatient benefit package for general mental health. In this benefit package, covered na po ito ang mga gamot for our maintenance for mental health.
Ma'am, balikan lang po natin yung question mo kanina on the registration. So, na-mention po ni Doc Jen, our members can register individually. But because as mentioned kanina, nasa 35% pa lang po ang coverage natin on yakap. That's why our PhilHealth is strengthening our settings-based registration this year. So, ibig sabihin, we will be tapping all our employers since part din po siya ng requirement ng ating one-time waiver of interest. For you to maka-avail ng one-time waiver of interest, dapat lahat po ng employees under the employer na mag-avail ng one-time waiver of interest, dapat nakapag-register sa isang yakap provider and nakapag-first patient encounter. As well as sa ating setting space, we will also be tapping our school community. So, we will be tapping schools na ang target natin ma-register and will have access ang ating mga teaching and non-teaching personnel as well as our learners. And of course, our community-based na setting partners natin. No? That's why we really encourage the participation of all our civil organizations, community organizations, para mas malaki yung coverage natin. And this time, targeted po tayo. Like example, if ang DOLE may program po sila, specific program, no? May beneficiaries. So, we will target beneficiaries ng ganitong programa, and we hope that with our partnership with PhilHealth, our yakap providers, and our stakeholders, 100% po natin covered yung ating mga different sectors po.
Ma'am, for the registration and also siguro in the future yung availability for yung mga nasa far-flung areas, paano po yung how they can access to apply and also to have the yakap para kung if ever monthly gusto nila magpa-check up but they cannot go to the city, paano yun?
Sige po. So, meron na po tayo, as mentioned kanina, meron na po tayong 173 accredited yakap clinics. So, ito din yung pong ina-advocate natin with our media forum today that we have initiative po siya ng Region 11, what we call the yakap map. So, later on siguro we will flash the QR code that our members can scan. Nandun po sa map, meron na pong makita ninyo saang location po ang ating mga yakap clinics para makita natin kung saan ka nakatira mas may malapit ba. Because really have to emphasize na when you choose your yakap clinic, it should be yung may proximity or malapit sa iyong residence or pwedeng malapit sa iyong saan ka nagtatrabaho because we really have to emphasize that with yakap, we have this, our provider, sila yung first contact of care and we have to ensure that dapat meron pong continuity, comprehensive, and coordinated care.
Ma'am, yung sa one-time waiver, apil po ba ni ang sa mga self-employed din po?
Yes po ma'am, no? But the circular is not yet out, but same concept din po since nakalagay naman po sa UHC that when we implement the universal healthcare, meron na talagang penalty for self-paying individuals. However, when we started the implementation of UHC, sometime mga 2019, and then nangyari po ang pandemic. That's why na put onto shelf muna yung ating policy on the interest ng ating self-paying individual. So, meron po tayo, yun din yung aantayin natin no, na bagong programa na i-implement in PhilHealth. As we implement the penalty for the self-paying members, we will be also implementing yung one-time waiver of interest sa ating mga self-paying members, in which we will be waiting for the circular to be out this year po.
We also,
Wala po ba ang mga delinquent nato for this po? And then, nag-increase po ba siya for Davao Region? Yeah, asa usually concentrated po sila po?
Sige po. As of last year, September po na record no, from central office natin. Ito po. May kodigo ako. Out of yung naka-assign po sa ating mga PhilHealth Accounts Management Specialist po, meron tayong a total of 17,185 accounts in which naka-concentrate po tayo sa retail and large employers po. So, Davao Region po siya. And out of the 17,185, 13,602 po ang mayroong remittance. So, ibig sabihin po, ang ating remittance rate is 79.15. So, roughly 20% of our active employers ang may mga delinquencies po. So, ito po yung merong pwedeng mag-avail po ng ating one-time waiver remittance.
Ma'am, which particular region po ba? Kaning 20% ang pinakadaghan na cases po? Is it Davao City po ba ang nag-delinquent po?
Well, kung tanawan na to, ma'am, mas dako gid ang percentage sa Davao City because mostly of our employers concentrated po in Davao City.
Sige, good morning. On a lighter side, guys, since hapit naman po ang anniversary ninyo, advance happy anniversary and advance happy Valentine's. Mag-ask ko with, are there any prepared schedule of activities pertaining to the anniversary for the PhilHealth and sa may mga mainungdanon na mga angay masayran pod for the benefit of our members and also to the media?
Okay, thank you so much, sir. No, I'm waiting for that question. So, actually, no, we will be conducting our anniversary in February 14. That's the 31st year of PhilHealth. Nambug na ang PhilHealth. So, that's why, for the information of everyone, we are happy to give you an update on this, that last Friday, we were able to roll out na the gamot application. No? We were able to dispense medicines that are included doon sa PhilHealth gamot. So we are still trying to stay firm with the processes until the payment of the PhilHealth gamot once it is already dispensed. That is one of our preparation, no, one of the gifts of our administration to our stakeholders na ma-implement na talaga itong PhilHealth gamot. And maybe later, the accredited gamot pharmacies will also be given by Dr. Alex or Dr. Janelli. But that is one of our preparations here. We were able to roll it out in Region 11 last Friday, and hopefully in the upcoming days, you'll be able to give the name of the pharmacy that are able to dispense na this PhilHealth gamot. So that is part of the preparation. That's the main or the core preparation of PhilHealth in this upcoming 31st anniversary. So another also, we have also prepared some other preparations, especially dissemination of information and the benefits of PhilHealth. But the core preparation of PhilHealth right now in this 31st anniversary is the implementation really and the rollout of PhilHealth gamot, which was done last Friday. And we will try to stay firm na ma-implement na talaga siya within the week. So we just wait lang po sa information that will be sent by PhilHealth Regional Office 11 as to what and where those accredited gamot pharmacies that can dispense medicines under the gamot program of PhilHealth.
For the sake of time management, my last question na lang. And also, if Ma'am Clea would answer this question, fresh from maternity leave. Bitaw, ay, mag-asra ko with regards katong general awareness na to with some members na na-fall prey katong sa mga fake websites o katong mga email addresses that they impersonate as PhilHealth. But what is the awareness po sa atong mga members if ever nga basin simba kung mabiktima sila with those links or some email addresses that they impersonate as PhilHealth po?
Yes, thank you, Sir Carlo, for that very relevant question dito karon. Actually, we released a press release and an advisory pertaining to this particular issue, no, on the fraudulent and fake websites circulating, no, and copying the URL of PhilHealth. Unfortunately, it happened. So, that's why we are reminding the public, no, to be very wary. Binantayon ta pag-abot sa kaning access na to sa online ng mga services. And let's make sure that we really direct all our concerns to the official platforms and websites of PhilHealth. Ang atuang website is ang iyahang URL is www.philhealth.gov.ph. So, ang kanang most of our, if not all of our government agencies really use no that extension, .gov.ph yun. So, dira na itong makita nga tama ang atuang gatuan na website. And, of course, wala nagapangayo ang PhilHealth o mga personal information masing asa lang na platform, no? So, dito lang kita direct sa atuang website, sa atuang member portal, and through the eGov.ph app. That is also the official platform where we can access our PhilHealth. So again, we are calling on all our members to be very wary and careful pag-abot sa tuang personal information.
May na-biktima na ba or may na-receive kayo complaints na may na-biktima na mga fake websites dito sa region?
For the region, sir, so far wala naman po. No, but the press release is actually up to national level. Kasi ang monitoring atong fraudulent websites, it was actually monitored sa national level nato. That's why the paggawas na lang din nato siya sa tibuok nasod, no, even in the regions, para mas mahimantayon yun ka pag-abot tayo.
Okay, so any questions before we go to the memorandum of understanding between the Philippine Information Agency and PhilHealth? But before we end the first portion of this PhilHealth, we'd like to get the parting statements. Sisig, kaya din.
Alright, a very short statement na mo, dalang salamat din kaayo sa PIA o sa to ang mga media partners. Again, this opportunity is a very rare opportunity lang po, no, nga matapok-tapok na mo tanan, sir, no, para maabot nato ang program. And timing po kayo na magkaroon ta og MOU signing. We are, again, calling on everyone, and all our members and stakeholders to continue supporting our programs, especially our YAKAP program. And sa mga po sa public affairs, help us disseminate the information. We suggest and we advise you to follow and like our Facebook page, PhilHealth Region 11. Ito salamat.
So again, no, thank you so much sa ating mga partners, and for the Field Operations Division, we would like to encourage, no, nanawagan din sa lahat ng ating mga members na mag-update ng ating record, especially that ang PIN po natin, PhilHealth Identification Number, kailangan po siya para magpa-register sa isang YAKAP facility. And also, katupang hindi pa members sa PhilHealth, since 95% pa lang po ng ating population in Davao Region ang register sa atong NHI program. So, we are calling all the Davaoenos, no? All the residents ng Region 11, magpa-register na po sa ating programa. And to all our stakeholders, we are calling po sa ating cooperation and participation. And we really believe na maging successful po ang ating program, especially with the UHC, if not by whole of government and whole of society. So, we are calling the relevant contribution po ng ating mga stakeholders. Hindi lang po tayo as implementers of programs, but we are shaping the future of our health system, because with our coordinated efforts, we will shape the future na lahat po ng Filipinos will have access to primary care that will lead us to promotive and preventive care, and eventually will lead to all Davaoenos or all residents of Region 11 to be healthy. Thank you po.
Again, thank you so much na sa partners from PIA and also news outlets and our partners in social media. Again, thank you so much for disseminating, helping us to disseminate the updates and benefits of PhilHealth, especially in the YAKA program and PhilHealth Gamot. And as I mentioned earlier, no, we are happy to announce that we already rolled out the PhilHealth Gamot last Friday. And for the information of everyone, last Friday also, when we already successfully rolled out the PhilHealth Gamot, we were able to conduct the first prescription of medicine, first dispensation of medicine, and first payment of medicine after 2 hours from dispensing such medicine. So na-complete na po yung cycle. We were able to dispense, we were able to pay also the gamot that has been prescribed by our gamot providers. So I would like to encourage now, by this information, I would like to encourage our stakeholders, especially the members, magpa-register na po tayo sa YAKAP program, because again, maa-avail na po natin to consultation as well as the dispensing of medicines. And not just our stakeholders, I would like to encourage also our pharmacy in the region. I encourage you to participate in the program. Because I know, marami po tayo mapagsisilbihan ng mga tao if our accredited pharmacy are scattered all around the region para malapit po sa ating mga stakeholders. Again, rest assured, in PhilHealth Legal Office 11, especially in our pharmacies, a pharmacy that are planning to participate in the program, we will do our best to at least help you process the accreditation as well as the dispensing and the payment of the gamot that has been dispensed to you. Salamat.
Attorney, ilan po ang accredited gamot partners dispensing pharmacies?
Here in the region, there are 27 accredited pharmacies that can dispense PhilHealth Gamot medicines.
Kasama dyan yung health center, barangay health centers.
They could be accredited also if meron po silang mga butika. We would just give the list of the gamot facilities later. Actually, it's part of the YAKAP maps namin. No? It's part of the map. So, pwede niyo po makita doon sa QR.
Okay, parting statement lang din. Tapos na. Okay, so we would like to invite our regional head, Sir Rene Carballo sa the Philippine Information Agency 11 to be one of the signees, no? For this co-promotional campaign. We'd like also to get the opening or message from Sir Rene. Ano po itong MOU that will be signed between PhilHealth and Philippine Information Agency, which will also cover sa mga media ng mga kaibigan natin sa media.
Yeah, okay. Mayong buntag sa tanan. I am Rene Carbayas from the Philippine Information Agency. The Philippine Information Agency is proud to stand alongside with PhilHealth Davao Region as we formalize our partnership. Actually, it's a renewal of partnership through this Memorandum of Understanding. Our shared commitment to the YAKAP or the Yakapin ng Kalusugan, Alagaan ng Pamilya program marks a significant milestone in bringing essential health information directly to the heart of our communities. By merging PhilHealth Vital Health Insurance services with the PIA's communication networks, we are ensuring that no Davaoeño is left in the dark regarding their health benefits. Why this partnership matters? First and foremost, recently, the Philippine Information Agency conducted a National Information Needs Survey, and that's in 2024. And the recent results somehow revealed that most or almost all Filipinos, especially in Davao region, would want communication or information or education related to their health. That's number one, health. Second is on the economy, livelihood, mostly. So this partnership is very timely since our direction in PIA is also towards promoting mostly this information needs from our mga kababayan. So this partnership matters. First is that it will empower our citizens. Knowledge is the first step towards health. We are dedicated to making PhilHealth's program understandable and accessible to every family. Second is the strategic synergy. Together, we will transform complex policies into actionable information that saves lives and reduces financial burdens. Third and last is community resilience. The YAKAP program is more than just a policy. It's a promise of security and care for the Filipino people. So we commend PhilHealth Davao for their proactive vision, and let's work together with our media partners to ensure that every YAKAP is felt by those who need it most. Padayon, PhilHealth Davao, together we communicate to serve and provide health for all. On that note, I also observed na magaganda rin ato ang mga interns ba karong adlaw. So, ato ang mga media partners karon murag nasa elderly na murag we are happy na naay mo sunod sa amoa to really function, no, to bring information sa atong communities. Murag parang may nasaktan. dili elderly ba mga veterans, no. Merong magmamana ng ating profession. So we're happy that the interns, ang challenge sa interns is make the most out of your experiences while you are doing your internship. And these are the programs po na we hope you can help us, highlight and promote fully kaning ating mga programa. So that's challenge sa ating mga interns. Thank you. Sana padayon ninyo sa inyong mga career. Thank you, PIA.
May message din si Attorney. Okay. Again, on behalf of PhilHealth Regional Office 11, we would like to extend our greatest gratitude to PIA, led by Director Rene Carballo. Sir, thank you kayo. Thank you kayo sa pag-accommodate sa PhilHealth. As mentioned earlier, what is benefit without knowledge of our stakeholders? Di rin nila maaabin itong mga benefits ni PhilHealth without the information that will be sent to them na meron na ganitong mga benefits. And in fact, as mentioned by Director Carbayas, PhilHealth and PIA has been working hand in hand in the previous years. This memorandum of agreement is just intensifying the partnership that we had in the previous years. We have to intensify the dissemination of information so that the information or the benefits that had been given by PhilHealth would be initially or would materialize to the benefit of all our stakeholders. Again, we cannot do it on our own given the limited resources we have in the manpower or the human resource we have in PhilHealth Regional Office 11. But this endeavor would come into reality with the help of our partner PIA. Again, daghang kay salamat Sir Rene Carbayas and the rest of the team of PIA and as well as our partner news outlets and social media outlets. Daghang kay salamat sa pagtabang sa PhilHealth. Again, daghang kay salamat ni Mayo.
May pahabol lang siguro nga, I don't know if na-discuss, kasi very critical. Pag sa private facility, sir, there's what they call a parang co-payment. Nagbabayad ang isang individual pag nasa private facility. I think this needs to be explained no sa ating mga kababayan, sir. Baka ma-shock sila na may bayad pala, akala namin free na lahat.
Yes, sir. Actually, maybe it's best, sir, if call on Dr. Alex Campaner to give us the information regarding the co-payment.
Co-payment para sa yakap. Yeah. Kasi ako personally, I availed. Teka muna, tatanong ko, kayo po ba ay registered na sa yakap program? Paki-raise ng hand na sinong hindi naka-register sa yakap. Sinong hindi pa naka-register? Bibigay namin ng tsara. Hindi pa naka-register. Ay, wala talaga pa kayo? Bakit? Malaki ang privileges nato pag ma-avail nato. Ako po, nag-avail na ko last year. So, free June, except ng katong co-payment kay sa private facility man ang ako ang Yakap Center. So, gamay na bang po ang bayaran. Pero, laboratory tanan, free June, even doctor's fee. So, please, bisag wala mo'y sakit, bisag, ayaw nyo maabot na namoy sakit tsaka kayo mag-check. It's really good that we have to check all the time. Blood works mo. Importante kayo na siya. Media partners, kano wala pa man jud mo. Kumpiyansa kayo mo mga healthy kayo mo. Ma'am, wala po ka naka-register. Oh my God. Sige, i-facilitate nato na siya. Puhon, ma'am, no? Makapag-register. Ma'am, si Doc. Go ahead po, Doc.
Hello. Good morning po, RD. Regarding po the co-payment, of course, we cannot treat our private stakeholders the same way as the public, no? So, meron pong co-payment ang ating private stakeholders kasi po yung sa government, subsidized naman po yung budget nila by the DOH and other agencies. So, ito po sa ating private, we're just giving them a leeway para po ang kanilang financial sustainability would not be disturbed naman po. Yun lamang po, RD. Thank you.
Okay, then we proceed with the MOU signing between RVP Attorney Harvey Carcedo, representing PhilHealth 11, and Sir Rene Carbayas, representing Philippine Information Agency 11. And after this signing, we like to call mga officials of PhilHealth for a photo op. As witness. Witnessing is Clea Guevara for PhilHealth and Karina Cayon for PIA 11. Okay, then we like to call on after sa kanilang photo op, we would like to call the officials or officers of PhilHealth 11 to join RVP and Sir Rene for the photo op. Shake hands. Then let's join our fellow officers from PhilHealth to join the photo op. So, ito po yung Memorandum of Understanding signing between PIA and PhilHealth for the promotion, intensified promotion of PhilHealth programs, lalo na yung yakap. Kasi with yakap. Yeah. And this ends our Kapehan sa Davao for this Monday. We'd like to thank SNCT Davao for hosting and also Krispy Kreme for the delicious donuts and coffee. My food, you can claim it doon sa table. Courtesy of PhilHealth 11. Nagkakay salamat.